It's 2026 and the world is on fire, so I'm going woo-woo. Join me. Hi, my name's Mick. People in my life often assume that I know all things woo-woo. Maybe it's my nose ring, maybe it's the tattoos, or that I'm unironically really into astrology. But just because I like astrology doesn't mean I also collect crystals and read tarot cards by candlelight. I'm honestly pretty clueless to the whole wide world of woo-woo. You ever go into one of those hippie stores and think like, what is all this stuff? I wonder where people learn about this.
Hey kiddo, do you want to learn about energy healing?
This year, I want to learn. Fuck it. Let's get woo-woo. Are you woo-woo curious? Come along with me on this journey as we find out what the heck this stuff is about. Maybe we'll open our third eyes. Maybe we'll reach enlightenment. Or maybe we'll learn some tools to help us get through World War III with regulated nervous systems.
Okay, so where do I start? Hey, ChatGPT, tell me about all things woo-woo. Nah, I'm just playing.
I want to do this research the old-fashioned way.
Books!
I wonder if there's a place I can go where I can find some books. Maybe like rent them? You know, like borrow the books? I wonder if a place like that exists. Oh yeah, the library!
Butterfly in the sky.
Several hours later.
I got a library card. Library card. Gonna check out some books with my library card. Looks like I've got a lot of work to do. Be right back.
Mick goes woo-woo, curious, not a guru. Train goes choo-choo, all aboard for something new.
Let's begin our woo-woo journey with the chakras.
Chakra.
Chakras. All I knew about chakras is that they're like these glowing orbs of energy in your body in rainbow order, and that you have to like somehow align them. What do you know about chakras? Before we begin, let me know in the comments. In this video, I'm going to tell you about what I learned from all those library books about chakras and how maybe you and I could use chakra work in our daily lives. These 3 books about chakras were the most informational of the bunch. This one is from 1927, which is almost 100 years ago. At that time, only a few English texts were available about chakras, so this is one of the first books that started bringing the ideas to the Western world. Only a few books were available at this time, so this is like an OG. I thought it was really interesting. However, I will warn you, if you get this book, it's like out there, very woo-woo. This book, Chakras Made Easy, is a really good modern overview. So I would definitely recommend this. If you got any of the books that I'm talking about, I would get this one for sure. This book is called The Secret Language of Symbols, which I think is like really fascinating in general. There is one spread about the chakras, and we'll talk about that later. There's also this book, Unblocked, and this one is like a modern way to unblock your chakra energy. It talks a lot about therapy. It's written by therapists and EFT tapping. And then lastly, I got this kids book because I was really curious, like, are chakras something that you could introduce to children? And there actually does exist this one, A Rainbow Inside My Body. And it's really, and this book is really just teaching about like being aware of your body and like meditation, a little bit of yoga. It's cute. I will put the names of all the books and authors in the description if you want to check them out. Okay, so here's what I learned.
Tell me everything you know about chakras.
What are chakras?
Oh, I see. I guess we'll start with the basics.
India is the birthplace of the chakra system, most specifically through the tradition of yoga. We have texts going back as far as the 10th century, which is 900 years, so over 1,000 years ago. Chakra is a word from Sanskrit, the ancient spiritual language of India, and it means wheel. So chakras are like wheels in your body, whirling centers of life force energy, and that's something that they call prana, Prana. And this occurs in our energy body as opposed to our physical body. It's called like the etheric body. It's there, but it's invisible. Have you ever heard somebody say like into the ether? It's like intangible, mysterious energy. So you can't go to the doctor and have your chakras checked out, right? But the idea is it's like that invisible energy body around you. So you don't have to believe in any like literal interpretations of this to practice chakra work, and it's compatible with any religion. So whatever you may believe, chakra work can be integrated into that. So here's where the origins get a little woo-woo. The yogis, the ancient Indians who were practicing yoga, believed in the union between the divine feminine and the divine masculine, as seen through the god Shiva, representing pure consciousness, and the goddess Shakti, representing the primordial energy from which everything is created. Stick with me. So through the stepping stones of the chakra system, Shiva and Shakti meet each other, divine feminine and divine masculine, through the center, which is the heart. The classic system has 7 major chakras. So the heart chakra, green, is in the center, and there's 3 above it and 3 below it. You've probably seen imagery like this before, maybe in a yoga studio or in like one of those hippie shops that I talked about. So yes, they are glowing rainbow orbs in your body. Most of the time they're shown over someone who's like in the meditating position, and they're all like in a row lined up with the body. So from bottom to top, we've got the root, then the sacral, solar plexus or the spleen, heart, throat, third eye, and then crown. So the idea is that the energy from the earth flows through in the root, and then the energy from like the divine spirit flows through the head. And then you want those energies to like flow evenly and meet in the middle. So that's that like Shiva Shakti meeting of energies idea. These flowing energy currents are known as the Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. Don't worry, I'm not going to quiz you. Does this look familiar to you at all? This book claims that it's the origin of the caduceus symbol. So you've got like your Ida and Pingala. They're like snakes with the wings coming out, and that's the origin of the symbol that we associate now with medicine. Anyway, back to the chakras. These books claim that some especially psychic or clairvoyant people can actually see the chakra energy, and so that's how we have any idea of like what they look like or what color they are. These illustrations from the 1927 book are trying to depict the chakras as people who claim to see them can actually see them. Apparently, these clairvoyant people can see like an x-ray, the health of your energy. So with people whose chakras are like low energy, they're dull and they're not moving very rapidly. And then people who have, enlightenment have giant chakras that are glowing and moving rapidly. Take that with a grain of salt, okay? I said we were getting woo-woo. Okay, but have you ever seen the chakras depicted from the side? I had not before this, and it actually really opened my eyes to understanding like where this idea came from. So each chakra corresponds to a point in the body, like your heart, your spleen, or your thyroid. And so this is kind of where that pseudoscience meets science. So this book says that the chakra energy is subtle and sometimes difficult to feel, although it gives a couple examples of like ways you may have experienced the chakra energy. The activation could be like butterflies in your stomach, or a frog in your throat, a flutter in your heart, or even the happy release that adults get sometimes. You might have also noticed in this side view that the chakras are like blooming flowers coming from the spine, and that's actually how they were originally interpreted. So each one has a different amount of petals emerging from it, so they really are like flowers. If you see symbols of the chakras, they're typically depicted as flowers with varying amounts of petals. So the chakra at the top of your head, the crown chakra, is believed to be a flower with 1,000 petals. This one is usually the last to become awakened. Put a pin in that because we'll come back to that later. The yogis believe that as the crown chakra develops and the person is on their path of spiritual advancement, that it starts out as the same size as the other ones, but then it gets bigger and bigger until it like covers your entire head and is whirling balls of energy. This blew my mind because I thought, and you may have thought this too, that the statues of Buddha that have the headpiece is like some kind of headpiece or hair or something, but it's actually a representation of the crown chakra like fully developed. And so all those little swirls, rather than being locks of hair, are like the chakra energy activated and swirling and whirling. All right, so we've got 7 main chakras. I'm not going to get super into detail about each and every one of them in this video. If you would like for me to do that, let me know. I'll make a part 2. Also, if you want, you can pause here and check out this overview chart from the book Chakras Made Easy. I do, however, want to talk about how we could group the chakras to start thinking about what we can do with them.
to my research.
So the first two chakras are your groundedness and your vitality. They're your physical body, your connection to the earth. The middle three chakras deal very much with your personality and your relationships with others. So think like your heart is how you love, your throat is how you communicate. And the last two chakras are the spiritual ones. So that's like that third eye opening, and then the crown chakra, bringing in the energy from the heavens and the divine. The Secret Language of Symbols book is really fascinating, and there's an entire spread about the chakras. What I found really interesting is that it talks about the American psychologist Abraham Maslow. You may have heard of him. Maslow was an American psychologist who created the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You'll notice that it's kind of the same groupings as the chakras, right? So we've got like our physical safety needs at the bottom, then love, belonging, self-esteem, and the top is the final needs for self-actualization and transcendence. So in order to meet the needs of everything on this hierarchy of psychological needs, as well as the chakra system, the yogis developed a system of yoga and meditation to help open this energy. These authors emphasize the importance of opening your chakras. I want to read an excerpt from the Unblocked book about what that actually feels like. The cost of blocked chakra energy is enormous. Blocked chakras can limit us to a life of pain, disappointment, unfulfilled dreams, depression, anxiety, addiction, disease, and other woes. Well, damn. All right, what does this author have to say? Do you ever feel stuck? Trapped in repeating patterns like habits, addictions, or limiting beliefs. You may want to get out of these patterns, but try as you might, they still persist. Or maybe you're a person who lives in your head. You have lots of great ideas, but don't know how to bring them into manifestation. This is all reflected in how the currents become blocked in their upward and downward flow through the chakras. We need to have these energy currents flowing to be full and productive human beings. Okay, so like same as the other book said. If we cannot manifest, we cannot move things down from our imagination into tangible reality. We may have difficulty grounding ourselves, feeling our emotions, taking action, or even making a living. This simple diagnosis is based on whether you are too focused on a certain chakra-related area of your life, or whether you tend to avoid that area. This diagnosis then tells you what you need to do. So balancing the chakras requires balancing excess and deficiency. Chakras that are excessive need to release that energy in order to come into balance. Chakras that are deficient, in contrast, need to draw energy in rather than avoid it. So the goal is to find balance in your chakras, which these books claim to help you do. And then once you have that, then you'll have balance in your life. You'll have met all of the needs along Maslow's hierarchy. So at this point in my research, I started to wonder, like, how do I know which of my chakras are open and unbalanced or blocked or all these things? Like, how am I supposed to know that? So after a flashback to my BuzzFeed quiz taking days, I was like, well, let's go online and take a quiz. Let's find out. This website was like the first result that came up. I will link the quiz in the description. I'm really curious, like, are your results going to be the same as mine? Are they going to be different? Like, I want to know. Tell me. So it looks like I have some open chakras and then some that are underactive and some that are overactive. But like with any diagnosis, I want a second opinion, right? So I thought I'd try out another website. I don't love how this one is on a scale of 0 to 100, with 100 being like fully open, because that's not telling me like if it's over or under. It's just telling me a progress bar, and I don't know that that's really relevant. But on this website, which I'll also put in the description, it does have a lot of like tips and tricks. So once you do find out, maybe from the first website, what chakras are over or underactive, then I would go to this site and like see what you could do about it. All right, so back to the books. Now, if you have diagnosed yourself as having a deficient chakra, then you need to pay more attention to that level in your life. Stop avoiding these issues, personal attack, and give them your attention. Open your body in those areas through yoga or exercise. Do some journal writing about the topics of that chakra and see what comes out, or learn to receive energy in this area of your life. Okay, cool. So both websites are saying that I have an underactive root chakra, and all of these books are talking about like starting from the root and making your way up. So I think that that's where we should start today. So if the origin of the chakra system is through the yogis from India, then I thought, what better first way in than trying yoga for specifically the root chakra? So I went on YouTube, found a video for root chakra yoga. So once I found this video, I decided to try it, and oh my god, like the first pose they were doing in the video, I was yawning multiple times and my eyes started to water, and I was like, okay, what is happening here? Like, am I activating my root energy? So I looked it up, and remember when I showed you that picture of like the chakras relating to the physical parts of the body? Well, apparently what happened to me is that I was downshifting from sympathetic nervous system into parasympathetic nervous system. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what that means, so I had to look it up. The Cleveland Clinic says sympathetic is like your fight or flight, and a lot of us are in that all the time, like we're chronically stressed out, high cortisol levels, and that the parasympathetic nervous system is your rest and digest. So it's the way to tell your body you're safe, you're good, everything's chill. And literally that's like what the root chakra, balancing that energy, is about. So just by doing this first pose in this yoga video and like some of the breath work that she was doing, I already was like shifting into this state where my heart rate was going down, my stress levels were going down, and my digestion goes up. So interesting. Like, maybe, does this work? So what else can I do to help the root chakra? This is where I found out that chakras are like the gateway to everything else woo-woo. Like, it's all connected. So ways that you can balance your chakras are like energy healing, yoga, grounding, earthing, tarot, acupuncture, auras, crystals, mantras. Now, I'm not going to go out and buy a bunch of crystals or sign up for an expensive yoga studio or get some like crazy acupuncture procedure done, and neither should you. I think it's important to know that the chakra work can be done for free. I like free.
Hello, I like money.
Free is good. So with the root chakra specifically, based on the Chakras Made Easy book and that second website, are grounding exercise like nature walks and gardening, yoga at home with a YouTube video just like I did, meditation, breath work, healthier eating, facing your fears, resolving your traumas, embracing structure in your daily life, and listening to your body. Like, am I hungry? Am I sleepy? Am I achy? Like, the body does not lie. And then lastly, here are some things you can say to yourself out loud daily that might help.
All right, I'm going to stop there because if I take you through all of my chakras, we'll be here for eternity. So what's my take?
So what's your take?
Whether or not there are glowing flowers of energy within me sprouting or not, it does feel like a good exercise to see how you can meet your needs along the psychological hierarchy. It has pushed me to better connect with and inhabit my body. Like the one author said, we should bring focus to those areas of our life that are lacking or suppressed. I will leave you with some parting words from our woo-woo authors. Let me know what other woo-woo topics you'd want for me to explore next, and subscribe so you can get notified when new episodes drop. This is my first YouTube video ever, so let me know how you felt about the format, what you liked, what you didn't like, and I will definitely read your comments. Also, never forget, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Bye!